Hey Collective, it's Al and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about teachable moments in high vibrational living. And what I wanted to use was an example of what I went through yesterday and the reason why. So essentially what happened is, as many of you know, I've been putting together this idea of a turquoise leadership and a program that would be very inspired in the attempt to have people sit around in like a panel setting and actually discuss for an hour a singular topic that is controversial from the standpoint of welcoming each other's points of view and actually learning from the other person. And so it's a very, very, kind of forward-thinking idea. But what you guys may have not paid attention to is I had also referenced that I had sent out another idea for a very powerful show to a specific network that was my ideal. So yesterday I received a no reply, that they were not interested. And the reason I wanted to share that with you is because of my reaction and why I appreciated that it would be a teachable moment. Instead of letting it get me down or bothered, I actually had the best reaction I think I ever had in reality check. And what it was is I responded by saying, well, it just wasn't good enough. Let me rewrite this. And so I spent the entire morning working on this, and I'm going to be working into the afternoon and kind of making it a little bit more cohesive. And I started to look at it from the standpoint of maybe why it didn't work and didn't take it personally. And that's one of the things about high vibrational living and being a high vibrational person, is that you can't always take things personally. It may not have been the right vehicle, sure. It could have been a bad idea, sure. But the best thing to do is always come back to you and what you have within your own power to change things. And so what I did is I focused my energy on, well, actually, first I washed my hair because that always makes me feel better because it looks fantastic. And then I grounded my energy in the reality of, hey, I'm trying to do something very forward-thinking, and I'm trying to do something with very powerful people. If it's not right, then I missed my mark. Let me try again. And though I may not, go that vehicle, because I would love that opportunity, that same opportunity, I should say. But I'm not going to beat, the dead horse down, right? The door wasn't open at the time because it wasn't good enough. So let me rewrite it and let me twerk it. Let me tweak it. I think is what I was trying to say. Twerk it. Twerk. Let me tweak it a little bit and see what happens with it at a later junction, because I still have the other legacy building one also on the table. And so the reason I wanted to share that with the collective is when you find yourself in these situations where you're trying to do something that your soul is calling you to do, understand that it is your reaction to the no that will open the door to a yes down the road. And because what happened was, as I sat down to look at it, I go, oh, there's a spelling error there, and and I realized that if you're going to make a first impression, that you really should put your best foot forward. And though I liked the way that aligned, it was very detailed and very long, and I may have overdone it. And so I took accountability for it. And in the moment that I was doing that, I realized something. Hey, it got seen. Their acknowledgement meant that they actually saw and considered it. And everything just was a fantastic day after that. I've just had the most marvelous day ever since that reality check came in. Because though I could have gone down the road of like, oh, victimization, and oh, it didn't work out, I'm an underdog. And so for me, that doesn't do anything. It's not something that's really viable for us, right? As underdogs, we are people who just are high vibrational. We've become immune to the no, looking for the yes, and understand that there is accountability on our part. If it didn't work properly, if it didn't read properly, then it wouldn't have been relatable to the other party. So let's work at it a little bit more. And so I did. But the fact that it was actually reviewed and looked at made more of a dent in my day than anything else, because I realized at least they saw it. And that's a big key. Because once you're able to have your work seen, then at least you are in the ethers, understandably somebody that is actually on the board. It may not be a successful player yet, but the way that they interact with the no and the realization that they at least had their work seen will set the bar for what happens next, right? It's like an evolution of a soul's journey. And so my day just became so much better, and I was super thrilled. And so I decided that I would take the moment to share with you all why it was so easy for me to do it, because I find that would be more of an interest, I think, to the collective. And essentially what it is was that when it comes to being an underdog, somebody who just has like a little bit more challenges in their life, someone who has come through the ashes, so to speak, and rises as a phoenix, they understand that it doesn't mean there's going to be a golden ticket that's just going to open for them, right? But they do understand that part of the process is to receive no's, and how they internalize it and build from it is the true test of an ascendant, right? And so with underdogs, we have a little bit easier time understanding that if something didn't work, then let's just work at it a little bit more and make it right. And when it's right, the opportunity will present itself again, because the universe now knows that you have actively put it into motion. And so the two things will come colliding when it's ready. And so instead of us getting all like, woe is me, downtrodden and, all that stuff, for the underdog, what we realize is that it's an opportunity for us to make it perfect. And the thing with that is that though there is no such thing as perfection, to a soul, your ability to manifest from the no and rebuild it over and over again till it's right gives a perfect opportunity for the universe to go, surprise, this person is interested in your work. You never know how the universe operates until you try, but you will never understand it if you can't get over the hurdle of the no, right? Everybody talks about when you get the no, that don't take it personally. But the thing that they forget to, that some people forget to note is that if you're an underdog, you understand that you get more no's than yeses, but you're in pursuit of the yes. So how do you take accountability? How do you take control of the situation and bring forward motion again to it? And you do it by looking inwards and going, okay, it was a big, I went for a big fish here, and it could have been very disastrous, but it was very polite, no, we're not interested in this project. But they saw it. And so when you have something that looks like lemons, then you make lemonade out of it. And so what had happened in the situation is my soul registered that I did not react negatively to it. I actually went, oh, okay, let me look at this and see if I can make it any better. And in that moment, that's what triggered the realization or the release from the soul to the body, so to speak, to the realization that, hey, at least they saw it. Because I've noticed in the past when I've gone through, when I was going through a lot of my journey, and especially when I was going into my spiritual mission, I would always take things personally, and it would shut me down. I'm a Cancerian, Leo rising, so I would do that. But now, after the spiritual journey, what I realized is that it's actually just assumed that there might be an obstacle that needs to become an opportunity, and the only way to learn from it is to go through the no process. So what that did for me as a being was it allowed me to receive that data and look at it and go, well, at least it was seen. Otherwise, the soul wouldn't have informed me or released that to me. I just would have been stuck in the woe is me. Everything, if you think about in life, is an evolution. There's always a step. Some people have to take 5 steps forward and take 10 steps back. But if you're present every day and you take accountability for your own actions, don't take things personally, and rework something, then it changes the dynamic to the music of the melody that's being played for you. And it makes things a lot easier. Sorry, my hair, although beautiful, it is in my face at the moment. So what I'm doing for the rest of the day is a teachable moment. I'm actually just going to keep working on it until I feel like it's another go. And then I'll tell the universe in my own, in my own Zen space, I'll go, okay, I worked on it. I think I'll think I'm ready to try it again, and I will try again. But the thing about it is that I have 2 projects that now also are available for consideration for someone who would be interested in my work and who does like the way that I operate and does like my tone and my high vibration. That makes it interesting as well, because if you would have been stuck in the negative headspace, you wouldn't have seen that, one, you get to work at it again. It has been seen, so it is in the ethers. And 3, it now frees up to more than one option for someone who would be interested in it. And it actually creates motion through what you think is a catastrophe. And so as a high vibrational person, I thought I just wanted to share that with you guys, because it's an incredibly powerful teachable moment. When you are in your sense of empowerment and you understand that you are a prize, don't take it personally if the projects that you're pitching or the way that you're doing get no's, because it needs to be, like I've said, in the right mixture with the right people. And though this particular empire would have been really, really fantastic, it was a bit out of my reach for my level of development. So instead of taking it personally, I rejoiced in the fact that it was registered, that it was seen, and that it actually was looked at, registered, seen, and that it actually got a response to it, because sometimes you don't. So already I'm in a good cycle there. And then I realized that I needed to work on it a little bit more, and I took ownership for that moment. And that's what makes it teachable, is when you are high vibrational, you realize that it's not personal. The universe is telling you you can do better. Now work at it, tweak it out, and then when the opportunity is ready, we will present it back to you. And realize now that not only has it been seen, but You now have 2 viable options if someone should ask, including all the other things I have not released publicly. And I realized how incredibly powerful my day had become. And just think, it started by me washing my hair. Sometimes, the simplest thing, when you can do something that makes you feel better about yourself, sometimes it's the key that will just unlock your door. And then everything else, all the realizations came from that moment, by the way. I don't know, something about magic hair. But I just wanted to share that in a kind of funny ending there. But the truth of it is that we, as leaders, whatever your leadership style is, whether you are in entertainment or entertainment with values, or you are someone who's just a spiritual leader, or you're someone that's trying to empower our world right now that's going through so much, understand that you set the bar by how you interact with the environment, because the environment then appreciates your work even more. That's all I wanted to say, guys. You guys have a great day. Bye. Ooh.